Just to recap on where we are, we made a single clip used in effect with keyframes to replicate two clips going from black and white to color. I like it. Now, this lesson is actually a study in how you can waste your time, but it's going to show you how you can make something called a compound clip. We go back and revisit our spot and realize, or we just think, that we wish we hadn't done it the way we had. And by that I mean basically the separate area with the freeze frame, putting the effect just on that, going into the color in the next clip. We wish we had done something like this because it would be more efficient. Now, in my opinion, since we've already done it, that doesn't really make sense. Leave it alone. It's going to be fine. But there are times when you might want to replace clips with something else, and they're in another event or another project. How do you do that? I mean, because it isn't up here, is it? It's down here. What we're going to do first is make something called a compound clip. It's like taking everything that we have done and grouping it together. So I'm going to do Command A down here, which is a shortcut for Select All. I'm going to right-click my mouse and go New Compound Clip. I'll tell you what we'll call it is New Manhattan. And I want it to go into the main media event not holding. Click OK. Now you'll notice it changed. We lost all that stuff. It's still one clip, but it has an icon right over here that's different. Now if we scroll down, you'll see it. There it is. Now, how exactly do we get it into our spot to replace it? There's more than one way to do this, but this way is probably one of the best. Go into WEC Energy Spot. Double-click. Now, what we want to do is take what we have and replace it with what we made. So do this. Come down and select this one. Hold the Shift key down, select the other one. Now, it's important to remember we're going to delete those, but we're going to hold the Shift key when we press the Delete key. And that is replaced with a gap. So now we have a gap that's exactly the size of what used to be there. Let's scroll down here until we get to New Manhattan. Drag it down, just like that. Let go. Now here's the important thing to remember. If you say replace, it's going to push that timeline crazy because this thing's about 14, 15 seconds long. We only need about 6 seconds of the video plus that 3 seconds at the front end. So we're going to say replace from start, and once it runs out of room, it'll just cut it. Let's go back to here and see if it works. Perfect. What if I want to change it now, Andy, because I don't see controls anymore? What if I want to make the freeze 4 seconds instead of 3? Well, here's the trick. See that icon right there? Click it. This is a compound clip. When you do, it opens it up just like this. It tells you where it clipped it, but if I come over here and press Command R, there's my controls again. I can do anything I want, and when I'm done, if I decide to change it, I can come right back here and click this button, and I am right back where I was. So what we did wasn't really necessary. It worked fine as a freeze frame in a separate clip. But there are going to be times when you might want to replace one clip with another. If it's in another project, one of the most efficient ways to do that is to create a compound clip, which is like a group. There you go. Changing our clip in New Manhattan. Tell you what, let's come back up here and go back into our lab by double-clicking, and we can delete this one because we have it already in our event. Ready for the next lesson.